Hello and welcome, my dear friends. Welcome to the review of a beautiful German vintage piston filler. If you watch my channel yesterday, I unboxed this wonderful Pelikan 400NN. And let me tell you, I got it for a steal, guys. So including the shipping cost, I paid for this wonderful vintage German piece 210 lays, the equivalent of 42.25 euros or 46.11 US dollars. And let me tell you, I did the right thing to buy this wonderful piece. I was mistaken. I don't have in my collection another one like this. This is the 400NN in green striped version. The celluloid is the green striped, but I also have in my collection the turquoise brown one, practically the same pen, but with other beautiful celluloid. My personal favorite is the turquoise one, but I didn't have the classic green striped one. Let me tell you about this piece, guys. So this is the third variant of the 400 model. N stands for new. We have the 400, 400N, and 400NN. So this is the third version and my favorite version of them all. The difference between them is in the ending. This ends in this domed cigar-shaped ending, and the other ones have a different ending. What is interesting about this piece, guys? I will present it to you. Let me start with the cap. On the cap, we have a very fainted engraving, Pelikan here, 400, and also we have Germany. You can see that this has seen extensive use because the gold plating has faded away. Also here on the clip, the famous Pelikan clip, but also the thermically engraved mother with two chicks at the top of the cap has faded away. This pen is in perfect shape. The only problem with it are those faded trims, and when I cleaned it, I've discovered that the grip section has a little bit of crack to it, and I will try to zoom, probably here. I don't know if you can distinguish it, but it's present over here, the crack. The nib is a beautiful Pelikan nib, and again it has seen extensive use because the EF is barely visible. We have an extra fine one. Of course, the other engravings are visible. 14 karat 585, a lovely nib, and a wonderful ebonite feeder at the back. Of course, this is a piston filler. And what I love about it is this transparent part of the celluloid. I hope you can see, guys, that this part is transparent, and when the piston filler moves, you can see it right over here. Now it moves till the top. It's a very interesting pen, one of my favorite vintage Pelikans. And this particular Pelikan was produced between 1956 and 1965. A classic cigar-shaped Pelikan, a wonderful piece. And let me compare it. First, guys, let me compare it with a fountain pen from the same producer. We have the famous 140 right over here. So this is the comparison. And let me see, an interesting piece of information. I told you that this is the same model, but in turquoise, And I had in my collection a spare cap, also in brown, because this is the difference between them, guys. Let me zoom a little bit on them. I don't know if you can see in this lighting, but this is a dark black and this is a dark brown, including at the top we have a dark brown. And I happen to have a dark brown in my collection. And as I looked at them to compare them, I said, how about putting the cap on this one? Well, the cap doesn't fit. I'm not so sure the reason, but it doesn't fit. You can see it has, it almost fits, but it rolls in, you can see this perfectly, and it doesn't fit. So this is a strange thing, because I thought that they were compatible. They seem to be the same measure. This is just a strange thing. Okay, guys, and now for my last comparison, let me compare it with a Montblanc Meisterstück 146 from 1983. So this is a modern version of the 146, but I also have one from the same period as this one, from the beginning of the 1950s. Let me get it, guys, because it is fair to compare it with the competitor from the same time period. So this is from the beginning of the 1950s, a 146, which you can see it's let me show you, it's a 146, guys. Okay, so if we look right over here, let me see, we have 146. Yes, so this is the 146 from the beginning of the 1950s, which is definitely smaller than the modern version of the 146, and this is our 400NN. So if we compare it with the 146, we can see that they are quite similar in length. Of course, this seems to be a little bit fatter than this one, both of them piston fillers, but again, this has a telescopic finning mechanism. This is a simple piston. I thought it was interesting to show you the competitors from Montblanc from the same period, but also the newer version from 1983. So in next, I will leave the dimension of this beautiful 400NN green striped on the screen, and we will do the writing sample. For the writing sample, first of all, I have here my notepad right over here. Okay, guys, and I will use this Faber-Castell ink. It is a pink ink, but in time I've let's say contaminated with some dark blue ink, and you will see it has a very nice shade of purple, not pink, it will be purple, but I'm quite curious to see. I've done my job and I've cleaned this pretty good. One advantage of this one is you can place a rubber here, and by turning gently this part of it, you can disassemble it, and of course you can use a syringe to deep clean it and not do the same operation of filling it with the piston with water and cleaning it. And I think I've done a great job. Of course there are still residues in it of the old blue ink, and I thought to myself, why not, let me use a already contaminated ink, a pink ink with from Faber-Castell, a German producer, a very affordable ink, and we will see about it in a minute. So before I will commence the writing sample, let me place it right over here, our pen, and now I will change the angle of the camera, guys, for you to see better the writing sample. So I have here the pen right over here. Okay, good. I will put it right this. Now I will open this ink bottle. Let's give it a shake before we will use it. Okay, Okay, guys, now let me place it right over here. I will turn the piston. Okay, and now I will fill it with ink. Okay, like this. Now I will remove the excess of the ink, like this, guys, and I will just leave it for a moment right there. And now I will take a little tissue to remove the excess of the ink, like this, yes. And I don't know if you can see, but in this transparency, let me see, probably I can show you. You probably can see the ink in the reservoir right over there, guys. It's a very, very interesting thing. Let me see if we can post this pen, and it posts perfectly. Very, very nice. And what do we have here, guys? So, my friends, remember, if it writes, so, oh, strange. Strange, it doesn't write. Let me see if I can put the piston in. Okay, now we can. Okay, I've opened it slightly to get the ink going. Let's see. Yes, it writes. Okay, now before I will commence the writing sample, always after you fill your pen, always, guys, put this little cap back on to avoid little accidents, because they happen and they are messy ones, let me tell you. So, okay, what do we have here, guys? A little zoom will be in order. Yes, we have a beautiful, beautiful Pelikan 400NN. And this particular one is the green striped one, or color. It was produced between 1954 and 1965. And this particular model is fitted with a 14 karat 585 gold nib. And I love the fact that Pelikan writes the size of the nib, imprints it directly on the nib, and we have an extra fine nib. Okay, guys, what is interesting about those old German nibs made in the 50s is they are slightly flexible. And for this, my friends, let me zoom a little bit more, because I want you to see the little tiles that they move when you apply pressure on them. So I hope you can see. They slightly move. Not too much, but they move. I hope you can see this. Yes, when you apply pressure, they certainly move in a nice way. I wanted to show this to you guys. So this, even the extra fine one, when you apply pressure, it becomes a fine one. So right here is right like a fine one, and here like an extra fine one. Okay, my friends, so definitely we have a little flexible, little flex nib. Don't get me wrong, it's not a very flexible nib, and I don't recommend using its flexing capabilities, because you can ruin very easy this nib. But in case you want to highlight some of your lettering, yes, you can do it with this German piston filler from the 1950s, a classic one. As you saw right over there, this is pretty much a very juicy nib, despite it is an extra fine one. What I love about it, it doesn't scratch and it feels very nice. Now let me see if I have some line variance. So right over here, I'm not applying pressure, and now I'm starting to apply pressure, and as you can see, no visible line variants of this wonderful nib. I already shown you right here. It can reverse write, so reverse writing. But let me tell you, for short periods of time, we already have an extra fine one. And in reverse writing, it scratches a little bit, and it slightly is, let's say, losing its full potential of ink flow. So reverse writing, yes and no. Yes, if you write for a short, let's say a few words, but if you want to write a phrase like the fox, I will show you. So I will show you first in but before I will talk about the fox, let me see if we can do a little signature. And yes, it performs quite well on signatures. And now we will zoom a little bit out because I want to tell you about the fox. And after that I will do the same phrase but in reverse writing to see the difference. So my friends, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So this is the nib in normal writing, extra fine writing. And let me see if I can do the same phrase but in reverse writing. So right over here, the quick brown, as I told you, it scratches a little bit, it loses the ink flow. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. And although it scratches, it managed to write the full section. This is in extra fine writing. So pretty much a workhorse, guys. If you get the chance to buy a Pelikan 400NN, go for it. My favorite, of course, is this turquoise colored one, which is wonderful. But if you find this at a great deal, just buy it. I paid for it, I told you already, only beneath 50 euros, and this is a great deal. But I think that this is a pen that definitely is worth 120 euros. This is my personal opinion, guys. Of course, I can be wrong, but trust me, if you want a classic Pelikan, a beautiful vintage Pelikan, go for a 400NN and you will not be disappointed. They are very nice, especially the 400NNs. They have this piston is not a corkscrew piston, but it is a plastic transparent ending of the piston, so it's wonderful. Yeah, no major problems with the piston. Practically a workhorse. By unscrewing it, you can easily clean this reservoir, a big reservoir, as you have seen it. So a wonderful piece. I'm quite lucky to get it at this wonderful price point, but I'm pretty sure you can find a decent one for 100 euros, and you will have a classic, beautiful pen. This was the review, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I was watching for the crack over here, but there are just a few drops of ink. The crack is barely visible, guys. Now I'm struggling to find it, but definitely is present there on the grip section. It's not a perfect pen, but for around 40 euros, I can't be complaining about it. It was a steal, guys, and I'm quite lucky to have this in my collection. So this was its review, guys. I want you to wish you to have a nice day, my dear friends, wherever you are. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for supporting my activity. I will see you again in the next episode. Till then, bye bye, and God bless you all, my dear friends.